2XKO's early access just kicked off with a ton of new changes and content for players to sink their teeth into, with the most important one of all, 2XKO's 10th champ and the best yordle around, Teemo. Teemo is the game's first ever small body character with an insane variety of setups and keep away tools. He brings a very unique playstyle to the game that we're gonna take a look at, along with everything else he brings, starting with the cosmetics, which is actually a lot to look at. After so long, we finally got two new stages. The first one, which was the stage we saw during Blitzcrank's reveal trailer, Firelight Run, is the first Battle Pass reward for Season 0. The second stage belongs to Teemo, Vandal's Crossing. This stage is super vibrant and bright, which is a nice contrast to the stage that was released along with it. Vandal's Crossing can currently be purchased through the shop for 7,500 credits. Between the Battle Pass and the rotating shop skins, there's honestly a lot to grind for here. Starting with the Battle Pass themed skins for Yasuo, Illaoi, Braum, and Teemo. All these skins are accessible through the Battle Pass, which costs 1,000 KO tokens, which equals to $10. The Teemo skin is actually free to get as long as you buy the Battle Pass at the base level. You can choose to get the big bundle that gives you 35 tiers of the Battle Pass, plus an exclusive Warwick skin. Seeing the in-game prices for everything, how much you can buy, characters and stages costing as much as they do, and getting 2 free unlocks at the start, that makes this review even more important. Is Teemo a character you're actually going to like once you buy him? Is he a character you can see yourself playing down the road? And more importantly, does he work with the teams you might be wanting to play? Those are the questions I want to try to answer today, so let's take a look at what he does. Let's start with Teemo's light attacks. His standard light is actually a projectile that can hit up to 3 times depending on how many times you press the button. Unlike other characters' light attacks, Teemo's hits a lot farther and is actually his longest ranged button. This light attack can also be done in the air, making it harder for your opponents to get in on you. Teemo's standard light also has a unique property where it changes depending on the level of his badges that are displayed near your super meter, but I'll explain the ins and outs of the badges later in the video. His medium and heavy normals aren't that crazy, lacking the range most characters in this game naturally have. He does have a toe tap like normal, very similar to Chun-Li in Street Fighter 6, and I managed to find some very interesting applications with this normal. Even though his normals don't seem that amazing at first glance, Teemo easily makes up for it with his special moves. The most important mechanic that revolves around Teemo's entire kit is the 3 icons above your super gauge called Vandal Merit Badges. Starting with the Dart Badge. Teemo obtains the Dart Badge after 12 clean hits with his light dart attack. This turns his light attacks with darts into poison darts. Next is the Mushroom Badge. This badge is obtained by landing 10 successful noxious trap explosions. This gives Teemo's mushrooms a poison cloud property that lingers once they explode. The next and final badge, the Slingshot Badge, is obtained after successfully landing 5 clean hits with Teemo's neutral S1 sharpshooting scout. This turns his rocks into flame rocks that does more damage and more hit stun. This also can be used to set his bush on fire from a distance. Now that we covered Teemo's badge mechanic, let's move on to his specials. First up is neutral S1 sharpshooting scout. Teemo lobs a rock at the opponent with his trusty slingshot. Depending on how long you hold S1 will depend on how far Teemo shoots the rock, and it also does additional damage. S1 can also be done in the air. Next is his neutral S2, Noxious Trap. Teemo hops back and places a mushroom that will explode the moment it comes into contact with the opponent. He can also interact with the mushrooms by using his normal attacks, forcing some pretty interesting interactions and scenarios. Teemo can also press forward in S2 to throw a mushroom ahead of him without jumping back. Almost like out of a classic Looney Tunes episode, Teemo can use his forward S1 bundle dash to leap forward with a multi-hitting attack. This move is pretty much good to use as combo filler and start in close range pressure when called with assists. You can also choose to hold forward S1 to get more hits and damage. Teemo can step into the shadows using down S2, guerrilla tactics. He'll literally spawn an entire bush wherever he is standing. Once the grass is fully grown, he can set the bush on fire or become completely invisible inside of it by holding down the crouch button. Yes, Teemo can become completely invisible. Also, when he's away from the bush, Teemo can dig his way back to its original location, making him even more pesky. Now let's talk about Teemo's supers. Starting off with Vandal Sky Patrol, which is done with S1 and an attack normal. While shooting, Teemo can be steered in any direction. I did have the clever idea to tag my partner in just before Teemo does his super, but I think Riot did think about this when making this character, maybe because it would have been a tad bit too strong to have your partner out while Teemo is doing the super. Regardless, it's still a pretty good super, especially when Teemo has his poison badge for his darts. Next up is Noxious Surprise, where Teemo digs up a large mushroom that explodes with multiple hits on contact. Unlike the rest of Teemo's mushrooms, these cannot be destroyed at all, so your best option is to jump away from the super or being forced to block it. Also, this super counts as 2 mushroom explosions towards his mushroom badge progress, which can be good when trying to fill out the last bit of the mushroom badge meter. All in all, none of Teemo's normal supers have any crazy cinematics, but his ultimate, Blinding Dart, is pretty adorable, I can't lie. Now let's talk about Teemo's assist. His assists seem okay in terms of neutral coverage, not anything too amazing. However, his mushroom assist seems pretty good to make his partner's offensive pressure scarier than it potentially already is. His down assist is easily, in my opinion, one of the best assist supers in the entire game, basically covering the entire screen with mushrooms from the sky, and it lasts for so long. I can definitely see this assist being used a lot in situations to turn a losing game into your favor. If I had to give some partner suggestions for Teemo based on what I tested and what the pros are trying currently, I think Yasuo, Jinx, Braum, and Blitzcrank allow him to get a lot of his shenanigans started and make getting merit badges a lot easier than normal. In terms of his fuses, I've personally been running freestyle, but 2x assist and double down are easily just as good to run. All in all, Teemo is a very annoying character, but in a good way. With the amount of things he can put on screen, how much neutral he can potentially control, and his ability to mix anyone to holy hell, he is looking to be super strong in the right hands. After spending some time with him, I did not expect to like Teemo as much as I do now. So how do you guys feel about Teemo? Did this review convince you to pick him up? Let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe if you're new, and tell me what your current team is at the moment. Love every single one of y'all. Stay safe, peace, and love y'all.